We are live, apparently. Welcome, everybody, to a Monday Night Live. Here you are with your host, Mr. Bibby himself. Big smile for everyone. All right, guys, I'm going to bring the chat up. Let's see who's on the call. Today is going to be just me, and we've got some questions that we have prepared in advance. But as we go, drop your questions in the chat, guys. I'm going to be monitoring it really close, even though I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera when I'm doing it. That is what is happening. All right, so where's the live? Just wait for some more people to join the call. Type in the chat group if you can for me as we go. There we go. Where are you from? I can see what your name is. I can see Yulis, Terry, nice to see you. Diyesh. Guys, let me know which city you're joining us from. I'm in Perth in Scarborough, and the sun is currently setting. I don't know if you can. I've closed the blinds because the light might ruin the broadcast, but beautiful sunset down in Scarborough. I'm quite getting used to this isolation thing. Hey, Gemma. Hey, Gary. Oliver. Tight haircut. Oh, yes, the haircut. So the haircut is what I call the COVID-19 haircut because I cut this myself. It's a number 2. And not many people gave me very positive feedback, to be honest. I got phone calls from a lot of people saying that they didn't like the haircut. Let me know in the chat what you think of the COVID-19 haircut. I think a few more people around the world are going to be sporting one of these babies. Number 2. Next time I'm going to try and do like a fade or something like that. We've got some guys from Perth, Con. How you doing, mate? Phil, Adelaide, Oslo, Sydney, Terry Ashraf, man. New haircut, Gary, yes. Oliver, thanks for the support, mate. You're the only person that's complimented me on the haircut so far. Yulis from Indonesia. I think the chats are coming through quicker on LinkedIn these days. All right, I've got a question for the chat. Speaking of chats, what do you think the average engagement rate is on social media? So when someone throws up a post, what percentage of people that view it do you think like or comment on the post? 1%, 2%, 3%, 10%. Let me know in the chats, guys. Looks fine. Thanks, mate. Alpha. New time, new haircut. Well, it is a new time because this is interesting, right? In Australia, we have a thing called daylight savings, which means instead of there being 3-hour time difference between here and Sydney and Melbourne, there's now only 2 hours difference. So it is a new time, correct? It's always 6 p.m. in Perth. Evening, private, Bibby, haircut. Brilliant. Thanks, Harry, man. Who's the new man? Hi, everyone. Philip. Cool. Okay, so 1 in 100. We get starting to get them through. So I'm seeing how fast the chat is. The average engagement rate on social media is 0.1%. 0.1%. So what's that? 1 in 1,000 people that view the content, like and comment. So that means a couple of things. One, if people don't like or comment, it doesn't mean they didn't see your video. But second of all, that engagement rate is pretty low. So even though most of our attention is on social media, what people are posting and what companies are posting is not, on the whole, very popular with the people that are looking at it. Isn't that interesting that we get our news from, like most people get their news from social media when they know it's the most inaccurate form of news and they're not actually, on average, the engagement rate's really low. But I'm not surprised because you turn on the TV and it's just, you have no control over what you watch. There's advertising and blah, 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 blah. I've stopped watching TV 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. It was around the time I started my business, and I'm glad I did. Now when I watch the news, geez, it's very overwhelming for me because I'm not used to it. And there's so much fear, like even before this COVID thing, there was so much fear being jammed down people's throats. It's full on crazy. I'm a number 3 man myself, says Con. No more Survivor anymore. Is that right? Good. I can't stand that show. Okay, so I've got some questions here. People want to know about a few different things. I've got some questions throughout the week. First of all, they want to know about live video. How long is the optimal length for a live video? Great question. It really depends on the value. Well, how do you know, like, how valuable the content is? Well, by how many people are watching. Like, so I've got the, what's the water brand? I've got the account here. To be honest, it's not accurate. The LinkedIn account, it doesn't seem to be accurate. And to use LinkedIn Live, you actually have to use a third-party streaming software. I'm using one called StreamYard. Also broadcast to Facebook and YouTube, which I'm on at the moment. Daylight saving ended. Look, so it depends on the content. Absolutely. Somebody said that actually here. Abin, thanks for joining in and helping me out with that one. Like, it's going to be different on Instagram, Facebook. People got different attention spans. Like on Instagram stories, for example, it's going to be shorter. I think LinkedIn, you can get away with it being longer if the value's there. You've really got to make sure you don't ramble on. Like on a general video on LinkedIn or social media in general, sorry, I should say. After 10 seconds, on average, 50% of people that started watching have stopped watching. And so I'll just say that again. On average, after 10 seconds, 50% of people that have already pressed next, stop. After 1 minute, 80% of the audience is gone on average. So keep in mind that most content's crap. So like, it doesn't mean that people aren't going to watch your content, but it makes sense to prepare it and to make sure that it's valuable and not, you're not just blabbering on and on and on. Engagement is a really good indication, but unfortunately with LinkedIn, it's not like as instant as I'd like it to be. There's a bit of a delay. Like when I asked that question about the average engagement rate, it took a bit of a delay before, about 30 seconds before I started seeing the answers. Still pretty cool though. Social media usage has gone up. It went up 76% within the first 2 weeks of the lockdown sort of starting in Australia. So those statistics are from at least 2-3 weeks ago. Social media usage has gone up dramatically in the last 2 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if it's gone up 3 times since COVID started, COVID-19. Now, people's attention on social media is now at a point where they're looking for content that may not necessarily be about COVID. Not so much news. They're looking for, if you're a business owner, you're looking for ways to innovate and looking for new ways to grow your business. Positivity is always going to do really well, or not always, but it's doing really well at the moment because there's so much negative crap out there. You can really stand out with positive content. Most businesses, this is what they're doing. Okay, they're going, if this was sand on the beach, they'd be going like this. They're sticking their head in the sand because they don't know what to do on social media. And so it's very easy to say, well, likes don't pay the bills. So I'm not going to spend my time on social media. Now, you'd be right. Likes don't pay the bills, but doesn't mean that social media can't generate conversations for you. Excuse me. There's two things that I'm going to be polite because I never know when my mum is watching. But there's two things that will stuff you up on social media. Number one, if you're impatient. The second thing is if you're selfish. If you're selfish, you're going to create boring content, okay? Because you're not going to take the time to find out what's actually truly meaningful to your audience. And that's what it takes to add value. Add value doesn't mean, well, I gave you that. Like my stuff, comment on my stuff. I just gave you that. I gave you free content. If it's not valuable to the person that's watched it, it's not valuable, okay? Now, the interesting thing is with business to business, most of us offer solutions, right? Solutions to a problem. Like for my business, like LinkedIn marketing, the solution is businesses get more customers. So what's the problem? Well, they don't have any customers, or they don't know what the return on investment is for their lead generation. So you've got to think about it. If a customer's in that place where they don't have any leads or they don't know the return on investment, when you create content, you can't just go, this is our strategy, this is a system, blah, 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 blah. You've got to talk about the problem first. It's about having enough empathy to start with the problem. If 80% of your content was about the problem and 20% was about the solution, you would do pretty well at social media. The interesting thing is if you can define the problem better than your audience can, they will automatically assume that you have the solution. Looks good when I move my pen around, doesn't it? They say you shouldn't move around too much in video, but I like doing it. I break all the rules. You can't B3B on IG, B2B. Look, Instagram for business to business. Same with any other social platform. It depends on your audience. Like I have seen some people do it really well. Business to business is LinkedIn though. I mean, that's the best. Someone asked the brand of water. It's called Aqua to Go. Good stuff. Got to love your water. I got it from Officeworks actually. There you go. There's a gap between accommodating future needs. Yeah, exactly. So I think I've been speaking to the head of marketing at Dell last week, and they seem to be still in crisis management, but I think they're moving towards more risk management and what's going to happen as a result of this economic shift that we're in. A lot of technology businesses are not necessarily suffering. They're just innovating because everything's digital. Where we were planning to be in 12 months, well, now we've got to be there right now. So it's accelerated things a lot quicker. A lot of people are going to wake up to financial issues, to health issues, things like that. I myself have been sick for the last week. Don't worry. You're not going to get coronavirus through the internet. I don't have COVID. I've just been a little bit ill, but it's interesting to notice like how difficult it is to get to medical access, like compared to what it used to be. And you've got to be careful about going to hospitals and stuff because things are contagious. Fortunately, in Australia, they're doing a lot of telephone consults, which I found really useful. But definitely more conscious about health now. I like to keep these things positive, so we'll move on. Just one more thing. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. When I was a kid, a lot of my Aussie mates, they used to like to go fishing. And so I'd go fishing with them, right? Now, I don't really like fishing. Like, I don't see the point. I'm not into it. It's not my thing. So I'd go fishing. We'd have a few beers. I would throw the lure in with a bait on it. Is that what you call it? Lure? And I'd just be chatting with my mates, having a beer, really. Like, I didn't really care where the line went. Was I fishing? Yes, I guess I was. But was I going to catch anything? No chance in hell. I didn't even bother to check whether it was the right bait. I wasn't even following where the line went. Wasn't paying much attention to it. So why am I telling this story? Well, when it comes to content marketing, I think we need to stop throwing crap out there and stop for a minute and take a minute and go, okay, where's our audience? Are the fish here? Are we in the right spot? What bait do they like? What are they interested in? What's already getting engagement? What time of day do they like to use these social platforms? Stop throwing crap out there and start adding value. Let me know in the comments if you like my fishing analogy. It's actually a true story, by the way. I did not like fishing, still don't. Business pages comes up a lot. Do you use your personal profile or business pages? Like traditionally, personal profiles do better. There's a couple of reasons behind that. Excuse me. For organic content. When you're paying, you can only sponsor posts at the moment through LinkedIn business pages. Most of us have a wider audience on a personal profile, which also comes into it as well. So more people are going to see it, obviously. People want to be connected to personal profiles. Like certainly if you're going to send a message to somebody, you want to do it through a personal profile, not through a company page. You'll get a much better conversion rate that way. Excuse me. LinkedIn versus Instagram. We are starting the first LinkedIn versus Instagram. What do you call it? Not a vlog, not a blog, a podcast. That's it. And we will be videoing it, of course. And we've been collecting questions from you guys about LinkedIn and Instagram. So if you have any questions that you'd like us to cover during that podcast, we are shooting on Wednesday. So let us know in the comments. On Thursday, I believe it is. Enjoying this live. Hey, pal. Miss Briggs going to be joining us at some stage live. Not because you said it, but I feel like a crap out there. Yeah. Don't ramble. Remember what people's main concerns are. Chantal, I hope you're not talking about me. I do ramble in real life. I try not to on these lives. Okay, guys. Social selling workshop that's on this week. For those of you that have registered through the Entrepreneurs with Attitude meetup site, we will be moving the event online. So it will be happening. You'll be sent a link to join us online. Social selling workshop is going ahead. You can also register through Eventbrite. For those of you that are registered, we'll be sending the link out for you 24 hours before, so don't you worry about that one. LinkedIn's a great place for job seekers, and I hate to say it, but there's going to be a lot of people looking for new roles this year just because of the way that things have changed. I encourage you to set your LinkedIn profile up with your objective in mind. So if you're selling, have it with your customer in mind. If you're looking for a job, tailor it towards the ideal job that you want, and then not only apply to it, look at who the decision makers are. You can see on LinkedIn, and then connect with them and send them private messages. It's very, very impressive. Excuse me. I'm still a little bit ill, but it's on the mend. We're looking for a salesperson at Bibby Consulting Group at the moment. We're hiring. And I've been very impressed with the people that have not only applied for the job ads, but have also taken the time to follow me up and private message me on places like LinkedIn and Instagram. Like, as a salesperson, it's important for me to see that they're being proactive. And so those guys will get interviews. I'm not going to go into some of the strategies that we will be using to see how hungry they really are, but there are strategies in place to see how motivated these people are, Salespeople, in general, if you're not on LinkedIn, you're missing out on a huge potential. This is where the A-grade clients are. Really important, guys. Look, so next week, I'm looking to get somebody in recruitment on the series. So if you know anyone that would be suitable, please do tag them in the chat. I'd like to interview somebody about the job market. I think that'd be really valuable. And LinkedIn profile hacks. So believe it or not, LinkedIn is a search engine. There's 3 places that you can put keywords in it that will pretty much rank you at the top of the search results for your network. Your headline, which is the main bit at the top there. Bit of underarm sweat, that's never good. So most people have account director, business development manager, their job title, CEO. Put in keywords. So if you're in online marketing, you might want to put SEO specialist, or if you're in financial services, maybe SMSF might be a keyword. And then you use it in your summary, and then you use it in the header of your experience section as well. Summary, headline, and experience section. You do those 3 areas, you'll probably rank number 1 in your network when people are searching for what you do. There's 22 places you can put keywords, but those are the main 3. If you'd like to get all of the checklist, head to bibbyconsultinggroup.com.au, and there's a checklist for profile optimization you can download. All right, we're going to be wrapping up very shortly, but I want to just see in the chat. Yeah, look, guys, there's a prospecting kit on my website as well that'd be really handy. Like, if you're writing scripts for lead generation, I know a lot of you need to generate leads at the moment. Go to my website, bibbyconsultinggroup.com.au, and download the prospecting kit. And let me know what you think of that. I think it's really valuable. Some of our best scripts that we've used to generate leads for our clients across all industries. If you're not following my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/bibbyconsulting. There's been tons and tons of long form content put up there recently. During COVID, I know that a lot of you have got more time on your hands at home, and that long form content is where my best stuff is. The 7 steps of LinkedIn influence, you get the whole thing on there. Social selling secrets, you can get the whole thing on there, etc., etc. LinkedIn versus Instagram, it's all on there. So check that out on YouTube. First, I've heard about bait on alert. Michael, hilarious. Yeah, mate, I've got stories. Don't you worry about that. So stop selling, start helping, guys. If you are looking for ways to produce content and you haven't got access to live video, I'd recommend creating long form content, whether it's an interview with somebody or write down a whole bunch of questions and then answer them. Make it a 20-minute, half-an-hour video. But then what you can also do is chop the questions up into shorter videos, because LinkedIn videos should be like 2-3 minutes. Can I paste the link? Yep, sure. Look, what I'm going to do is after the live, I'm going to hop into chats on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And I'll drop in the links there to those different downloads into the YouTube channel. I think it's really important that you are producing content during this time. And if you're not sure what to post, ask your audience, okay? Now, I'm going to leave you with a short quote. Stop selling, start helping. That's all from me. Have a fantastic week in business. COVID-19. Let's get some content out there, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Peace.